Hello everyone. It's good to see you. I thought I would get this video out. This is during September when they had the fires down along the west coast, and this was my neighborhood. And I decided to take a drive down to the river because I could see that way. It was pretty thick. You could smell the smoke really strong, and it was hard to see through. That's the bridge between Idaho and Washington and the river. As you can see, you can barely see anything. And I decided not to spend a whole lot of time out in it because I read the air quality was extremely poor and was actually hazardous to anybody that's got breathing issues. Normally there's a lot of people out on the river, and this was the only boat that I saw, which was the sheriff's boat. Probably making sure everybody was safe. As I was walking along the banks, I noticed that much of the vegetation was in really sad shape. As you can see here, the blackberries are just dried up. Usually this is a pretty good time to get some, but we just didn't get any precipitation this year, and when we did, it wasn't enough to do anything, just wet things down and make it dirty. Basically what was left was enough for bugs, maybe small animals, birds, and that was about it. But stuff was really starting to dry up, and it was definitely a fire hazard. There's a tree there that is dying or dead. This has actually been happening for several years now, where we just haven't gotten enough precipitation. As you can see, there's some little wild sunflowers there in the background. Usually this hill is quite full of those. There's a few, but most of it's thistle and dead grasses. One more look at the river and the bridge. On top of that pier, or not pier, I mean post, whatever you call it, where the arrow's pointing, there's a light. You can't, it was so thick, the smoke was so thick you could barely see it. The purpose that's there is because we do have planes that land on the water, so they need to know that there's lines going across. Okay, I'd gone over to Washington, took a drive over there to see what it was like, and now I'm headed back towards Idaho. So I'm crossing that bridge that we just saw. And this was the view. Usually you can see all the houses and everything from the Washington side. It almost reminded me of like when the winter time, when we'll have fog really thick and everybody during the day has to run their lights or have fog lights on because it was just too dangerous to drive without them. There's a river out there somewhere. And my favorite tower. Right. This is how my son looked that evening. Crazy. And the next day, the sun looked like that. Thank you guys.